sorry. I have a pretty loud voice, but I'm forced to speak using the microphone for our virtual participants. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Ortiz. I'm so happy to see everyone this morning. How did everybody like the breakfast this morning? Yeah, it was great. The coffee's good, right? It's better than the one in the rooms. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. All right, so my name is Jennifer Ortiz, and a little bit about me. I am a peer supervisor. I'm from New York City. I work in New York City shelters, providing peer services, and I'm also a supervisor. So I do supervision with 4 peers. Um, Also, I'm a mother, a neurodivergent woman that has broken out of that stigma. And so I also have suffered from homelessness my whole life. I come from a Puerto Rican family, second generation of poverty stricken, drug addicted family. And so coming from that as a child, I always told myself that I was not going to live that life. And at the age of 13, I left my house and I was living in the streets from the age of 13 to about 17 when I met my children's father. And when I became pregnant, I decided that I wanted to change my life, and I went into a family shelter in New York City with my son. And I stood there for about a year. And in that year, I noticed that I was scrutinized. I was looked at like if I was a criminal. I was not a good mother. Uh, all the time, they were looking for things to call ACS, on me or something like that. But I was a good mother, and so they couldn't call ACS. And I decided to change my life from that moment forward. And I wish I had a peer then, because had I had a peer, I probably would have gotten out even quicker and been able to do more. But now that there are peer services, I think, and lived experience is very important. And I'm so glad that we all have that experience to lead others into knowing their worth and into knowing that they're cared for and they're loved, and everybody here is important just as the other person is important. So that brings me to why I started Transformative Peer Conversations. Um, Basically, Transformative Peer Conversations was born from wanting to feel heard, wanting to feel appreciated, wanting someone to actually just listen and not tell me what to do. You know, I was tired of hearing people say, well, you have to do this and you have to fill out that paperwork and you have to do that and you have to do this. And I'm just like, well, when is anyone going to listen to me? You know? So before I begin, I want to start by taking a moment to ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna feel our feet on the floor. You're gonna let your feet press onto the floor. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Close your eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. And you're gonna take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then exhale for 6 seconds. And you can do it one more time. So now that we're grounded, let's talk about safety. Every conversation that we have has the power to heal or to harm. The difference is safety. And to my virtual attendees, I'm so sorry the camera doesn't follow me. And so I'm trying to like manage both the in-person and virtual. So I'm just gonna move over to this side so you guys can see me. Um, I hope that you were able to take part in the breathing exercise, and I apologize if I'm, in between. But every conversation that we have has the power to hurt us or heal us. And so the difference in that is safety. So I want you to think about a moment when you felt safe enough to speak your truth. What helped you feel that way? You can reflect in private, or if you'd like to share one word that describes what safety feels like for you, you can do that. Would anybody like to share one word? Yes. Trust. Yes. Yes. Amazing. That's right. Hmm. Yes, definitely. You see, so that all of that is what TPC and relational safety is about, which is what I'm going to discuss next. Um, Thank you for sharing that, by the way. You're already here, showing up safe. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. You're welcome here. And you're listening and you're honoring and holding space for one another in this session. So this is what transformative peer conversations is built on. It's creating safety so people can tell their truth and start to heal or continue to heal. So the next thing that I want to discuss is, what is TPC? TPC is made up of 4 modules. One second, sorry. I want to invest the slide, but the clicker's not working. Okay. So there's 4 components to TPC. We have relational safety, intuitive listening, witnessing without fixing, and transforming pain into purpose. And we all know what transforming pain into purpose is, right? So relational safety, what is that? You're heard without judgment. Your boundaries are honored, as in someone said space is important. So that's a boundary that we'll honor with relational safety. You can bring your full self without fear, and safety will grow through consistency, care, and respect. So I have an example for you guys for about relational safety. This is a shelter example. So a mother in a shelter begins to share to her peer about her depression. She's upset. She says that she's lost herself and she doesn't know how to get herself back. Her children just have so many needs. She's tired. The shelter staff is always on her case. So the peer will, in this case, make eye contact with her. She'll listen to her without interruption and acknowledge her courage. She'll say something like, "Thank you for trusting me with that," and or check for consent. "Would you like me to sit with you in this or talk through the next steps together?" And that affirms agency by reminding the participant that she has the right to choose what feels safe. So we're gonna take a moment to do a practice activity. Everybody's gonna pair up into two, and you guys are going, one person is gonna be the peer and the other person is gonna be the participant. The peer is gonna listen without interrupting, and the person is gonna speak 2 minutes. It can be about anything you wish. You can make up a scenario in your head. You can make up that you're a frustrated shelter resident that wants to vent, or it can be a real scenario if you feel comfortable. And then we're gonna flip the switch. So then someone else will be the participant, and then someone else will be the peer, and it'll be for about 2 minutes each. Um, and with the virtual, we're gonna put you into a breakout room. And it's gonna be randomized. Open home. Got it. All right. So if you guys want to pair up together, you can stay on the same table, or if you can move to another table if you want. And I'm not paying attention. I'm like trying to pay attention here. Okay, you guys can switch now. Switch over to participant and peer.
Hi, we were never sent over to breakout rooms.
Hi, I wasn't sent to a breakout room either.
Yeah, I just came in.
Totally understand the challenges of facilitating in the room and virtually, so take all the time you need.
Was I supposed to do anything on my part?
Normally they break out into breakout rooms and you accept it, but I think they're trying to figure out how exactly to do that.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna propose that we just do it collectively if
Sure.
that doesn't happen. If nothing happens after a while, we could just like listen to somebody.
Yeah, whichever works, we definitely could.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I'll see you somehow, somewhere.
Do you have me as well?
And please feel free to take your time. Yeah. Oh, I see you got it. We're going into breakout rooms. Yay.
What about me?
Oh, wait.
This is we're doing the best we can. This is a trial. Yeah. So I'm kind of
Okay,
like they're
Jen.
in it now. So I'm trying to learn. And it's almost over. Look, in 2 seconds it's gonna be over. Okay.
May I make a suggestion? May I make a suggestion?
Let's keep it open.
May I make a suggestion?
All right, guys. Hi, hello, everyone. How does that feel? How does it feel to be listened to without being interrupted? Anybody want to share? Sure. You were like my peers, so that the virtual can hear you.
So this is a lived experience. Expo. I'm already excited to be here. Like I know I'm amongst my peers, so I'm super stoked. She did a really good job. I just felt comfortable, and I talked about a real life scenario, and because we're peers, because we do a lot of the similar things, even though we're in different states. It felt like I was really listened to, and I kind of got goosebumps talking about it.
You as well? Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Anybody else want to share how it felt to be listened to without judged? Well, amazing. Thank you so much.
This is Amy Grissett. I had a great conversation with.
So, guys, I'm so sorry. We're like working with this is new. I have to manage the virtual part and the in-person participants. So, yes, go ahead. Oh, you want to share? Sure. Oh, sure, sure. Come stand up. I have to stay here. I can't come over to you. All right, come on down. We're winging it.
This kind of connects to what I was talking about earlier when I said space. When we don't have these conversations or don't have the physical spaces for this, I feel like it can be so suffocating to hold all of this in. And so what I felt in those conversations were space. It was like, oh, I can breathe. Oh, I don't have to be so tense and tight right now. I can just share what's on my mind. And yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, you see? So that's what relational safety is. It's being able to speak and feel like you're not being judged and you can just say whatever comes to your mind and you don't have to worry about what someone else is going to think or say or interrupt you because they have their own agenda or their own opinions, you know? So that's amazing. So thank you so much for sharing. And so now the next part of TPC is my favorite, intuitive listening. And who here has heard of the word intuition? Almost everybody, right? So you know most likely what it is. It's listening beyond the words that you hear, right? We all have an energetic signature. Did you know that your energy can be felt up to 6 feet away from you? 6 feet in each direction. And that really helps us to communicate as human beings because sometimes, there may be someone who's shy, who doesn't know what to say with their words, but you can sense that they have something deeper to say. And using our intuitive listening will help us to communicate better with everybody. So basically, it's just noticing the body language, the tone of voice, and their energy. And that silence is deeper than any word that can be said. So I have an example for you guys of how intuitive listening works and how we practice it in the shelters in New York City. So a father says he is fine, but his voice sounds flat. The peer notices and reflects, I hear you saying you're fine, but your voice sounds tired. Am I hearing you right? He shares he hasn't been sleeping. The peer gives him space and asks, "Would you like help if we explored supports together?" So in this example, the father said, "I'm fine," but the peer noticed that his tone was not fine, his energy was not fine. And by asking and reflecting that back to him, he felt comfortable enough to admit that he was not sleeping. And so that helped to bridge him to possibly getting support for that. So that's an example of how intuitive listening can help in a peer support session. You know, not everybody is gonna come out right out and say that's something. So we're gonna do another practice activity because that's what this is about. This is about connecting and talking and, you know, relating and having space for one another. This is what this is about. So we're gonna share for 2 minutes again. The listener is going to reflect, and I would like it if you guys switch partners this time. I love when they do that. Um, just so that everyone feels like around the room. Yeah, because yes, we grow through pain, right? Growing pains.
For the virtual participants, if you're raising your hand on the Zoom, we are unable to actually call on you. So if you can write your questions in the Hoover app, I can get those questions answered for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your patience, virtual participants. Yes. So we're going to go into another breakout room, and you guys are going to do the intuitive listening exercise, okay? 4 minutes or so, and you take turns. Hi, guys. X out what? Out what? Put it to the bottom. Okay, everyone. So how did that feel? How does what did you notice with the intuitive listening exercise? Does anybody care to share? Anybody from the chat have care to share on the Wova app what it felt like? Uh, Go ahead, you can share.
Where's that that motherfucker spitting in the sink?
I love that. Yes. Go ahead. Amazing. Yeah. Did you notice the body language, the energetic signature that was being emitted, right? You could feel, it's palpable. Okay. Awesome. So intuitive listening allows us to really hear what's being said, even if we don't reflect it back. Sometimes just holding that space and feeling that we get and sitting with it ourselves as listeners is important as well. You know, you learn how to adapt energetically. Amazing. So thank you so much for partaking in these exercises. So we're going to move on to the next part, which is, hold on, it's going backwards. Sorry. Witnessing without fixing. So this is a hard one. This is honestly one of the hardest things for me because I consider myself to be a fixer. I always have, you know, as a mom, I'm constantly fixing something or, you know, helping somebody do something, right? In life, that's what we do. We have to come up with solutions all the time and fix problems. But there's times, especially in peer support, where there's nothing we can do. literally, it's out of our hands. And a great example of this was just last week when SNAP was cut
Did you
for
keep the cat
temporary
Gavin?
pause.
No.
And we weren't able as peers to do anything about
Am
that.
I right?
You know, so many
Fine.
people that our constituents and our participants that were affected by that. And there was nothing that we could do other than tell them,
That has a
go
star.
to a food pantry and get some food that your kids possibly have aversions to, or is old or something like that. But there wasn't much else that we could do, right? So what I found myself doing a lot last week and the week before that, while the government was shut down, was witnessing without fixing. I just had to sit there, validate, and offer empathy and compassion and trust. This person in front of me was gonna figure out a way to feed their family. And so that's just an example of what witnessing without fixing is. And
Did he get into
another example is that a mother, this is something that I go through all the time. A mother has a baby
a shit?
and she feels overwhelmed. The baby's a newborn. It's her first time being a mom, and this baby is waking up every 2 hours and is unconsolable at night, so she's not getting enough sleep. So, as a peer, what I would do is I would sit with her and tell her, that sounds rough, I'm here with you. And then allow the silence to fill the space. And when she's ready, the peer will ask for consent before sharing ideas. But sometimes we don't have ideas, and that's okay too. So the goal is to hold space without stepping in too fast. So we have another practice that you guys love so much. So you guys are gonna partner up again. This time you could just pick, or just stay at your table, whatever, however you're comfortable, and you're gonna share for 2 minutes on a current challenge that you're going through. So it could be something personal to you. It could be something that you're going through at work with one of your participants, and you're going to listen. One of you is going to speak and speak their challenge, and the other one is going to listen and just acknowledge what's being said without trying to fix it or give a solution or anything like that. Okay, so you guys can start whenever you're ready. Suzanne, sucking.
So the first two I didn't get. Intuitive listening was number three, I think. Witnessing without fixing is number four.
Well, intuitive listening is number two. It doesn't matter what order. It doesn't matter that. The first one was relational safety, and we haven't gotten to the fourth one. You got everything else. And it doesn't, it's not in any specific order. Okay. How's everybody feeling so far? Enjoying the exercises? Exercise. Okay. I love this. Everybody's just like so into the conversations, you know? It's good. I love that. I hope you guys are starting to feel like warm and welcome and honored because it's an honor to have you here. Your your time is valuable and you're spending it the way you want to, and I'm glad. So just wanted to say that, you know, because I'm just interrupting and telling you guys, stop now. So, all right. So the next and final, hi. The next and final module is something that we all do every day of our waking lives, and that is transforming pain into purpose. And I love that it was mentioned in the breakfast because and it's becoming a term that I hear a lot now or days, that we transform our pain into something that that's palpable, that we can work with, right? Our struggles do not make us less valuable. The pain, the resilience, and the determination that it takes to wake up every day and do what we do is incredible. It takes tenacity, it takes drive. And if it wasn't for being homeless, for going through everything that I did growing up as a child, I don't think that I would be where I am today. I would, and I wouldn't change it. A lot of people ask, well, would you change what happened in your life? And I'm like, no. I am who I am today because of that. I used that energy and I transformed it into positivity because love wins all the time. It may not look like that, especially now with everything that's going on in the world, but we're fighting a battle of evil versus good. And the good has little wins here and there. And the fact that everybody is getting together and we're starting to form even more alliances. And hopefully, after this conference, we'll be staying connected and talking more and coming up with ideas on how to beat the evil with our love. Like, I mean, beat them literally. you know? Yeah, so when we transform our pain into purpose, it's beautiful. And we can do that with our participants as well. When you're in a shelter, you're in a crisis mode, you're in survival mode. You don't think about how you can make that work for you and how it benefits you. But we're living examples of that. And just by sharing our stories with our participants, it brings up an idea, a bell, a light bulb. You know, I like to tell my participants all the time, if I'm here, you can be here too. You're just as good as I am. And right now, you may be struggling. Right now, you may be going through what you're going through, but you're going to come through this and you're going to be better than ever. And so, you know, when I work with mothers, you know, they feel shame. And what we do is we reflect past that, right? And I name their strengths. You made it through, in New York City, we have something called PATH. And PATH is like a place where they go to get placed into temporary shelters. And when you go into PATH, you better be packed with patience. You will be there for 12, 15, sometimes 24 hours with your children, mind you. And the seats are hard and they pass out these stale sandwiches and the children are crying and it's really an awful experience, but you did that. They do it. You are able to get through that. You tended to your children patiently, as patient as possible, and you made it into a temporary shelter. That is resilience. That is power. Not a lot of people can do that. So I like to reflect things like that, you know, speak life back into my participants and let them know that they're stronger than what they believe they are. And that helps, you know. I have some really great success stories. You know, one of my participants, she was actually never finished school, didn't speak English well, and because of an experience that I had, I was able to guide her and find out that she wanted to go back to school and earn a degree. And because she didn't have her high school diploma, she didn't know how to go about that. And I knew happened to know about a program where you can get your GED through college. You don't even have to take a test. You can go to college, earn 24 college credits, and then you get your high school equivalency diploma automatically. And guess what? She enrolled. She's in college right now. She's doing amazing. She's getting straight A's. She's on the honor roll. She's doing amazing. And her children are so proud of her. And I'm so proud of her. And she's going to get out of this and she's going to be a better, more stable person. So that is transforming your pain into purpose. You stay present with your situation and you reflect on how strong you are. So we're gonna go ahead and do another activity. um, so you're gonna share a challenge with someone, anyone, doesn't matter, and you're gonna and the listeners. So one of you will share, And the listener is going to reflect the strength in the story back to the person who was sharing. And then you're going to switch roles. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't open all rooms, doesn't work. Okay. That's what I was actually. What do we do? Okay, that one. Okay, so that's something. That's an insurance. Oh my God, it's 10:24 already. Wow. Yeah, but you have till 11. Yeah. I'm wrapping up anyways. We're probably gonna finish a little early. That's good enough. Thank you. Okay, guys. So while you guys continue talking, um, I'll just say a few things. If you want to listen, go ahead. If not, continue talking. I love that you guys are connecting, and that's a part of TPC as well. That's called relational safety when you just take out your own agenda. And I'm so glad that everyone is talking and connecting. So does anyone want to reflect on how it felt to have their pain seen as purpose? Anyone in the chat want to post something about how it felt? Felicia, thank you for joining. All right. I guess oh, okay. All right. So just a reminder, guys, that we're unable to take questions or comments on the app that you're using to view. You can use the Wova app. The Wova app will allow you to ask whatever questions or comments that you have. So does anyone want to share what it was like to be heard for, or to rather, to, to demonstrate that your pain was turned into purpose? How did that feel to have someone else hear that about you? Go ahead. Oh, oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your vulnerability. And that's beautiful. I love to see people cry, good tears, happy tears. That's also a way of transmuting energy. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anyone else want to share? Sure.
it makes you feel, like she said, powerful and your purpose to want to be able to give that feeling to someone else.
That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Safety. State, I was, my peers are gonna state, if I was tripping over my words or not exactly trying to get exactly what I'm trying to say out, like I felt safe.
Oh, oh my God. I love that, especially tripping over words and stuff like that, because sometimes we are our harshest judges. And when we're expected, we feel, but we're not, but we feel like we're expected to be this perfect being. And that's not the way it is. I wish one of my biggest wishes is for us to be more childlike, for adults to embrace that inner child that had that spark and that we went up to everyone and said, I love you, oh, hi, and it was so easy back then, right? And I think we could still tap into that if, we have to let go a little bit. But sorry, guys. I'm being to stand the camera. Oh, bear with me. This is my first time ever doing both sessions, and it's definitely a challenge. But I really hope that you guys that are virtual are able to feel the energy that's so beautiful and so calming, that's here, present here, and I hope that's radiating through the digital components. So that's amazing. I'm so glad that you guys felt this way and that you're tapping into this energy. I hope that it continues throughout your day. And, that's the goal. And in peer support, we have more time with our participants, right? I meet with my participants as often as they need. Um, so I really feel like I'm making an impact with my participants and it's just gonna spread. And that's what I mean by love is gonna win in the end because it's spreading like a disease, a good one. um, so I have this whole plan. I had this whole plan, and nothing has gone as planned today, as you know. That's how it goes, right? So, the gist of it is that when you use TPC with your participants, it invites them to feel safe. And that's what helps a person to want to heal. Because the reason that we're hurting and we're not feeling safe is because we have never had the opportunity to feel safe. A lot of us have never had someone say, you're doing an amazing job. You are worthy. You deserve to live out your dreams. And that's what TPC does. It's another component instead of just having a case manager say, check this, sign here, do this, do that. It's the emotional aspect which we need. We're human beings. We are tender. We are loving. We are social. Some of us are not social, and that's okay too. But we need to be heard as well. So, with that said, there's about 20 minutes left or so. If you guys have any questions, I'd love to answer some questions for you guys. Also, you guys in the virtual world can post any questions on the Hoover app. And I'd love to center you guys and give you guys some attention. If you have any questions, please post them in the Hoover app so that I can answer them and give you guys the attention you deserve. Oh, definitely. Yes, that happens because, when you're around your peers you see, it's like you want to match energy, you want to be able to keep up, and you also want to help. You want to, there's so much that goes into it. So thank you for sharing that, Alicia. That is so true. Anyone else? Sure. TPC. Not at all. In fact, TPC, peer, period. If you're asking about peer support, no, we're all peers. We all have lived experience. Some of us want to use that to help and to, further advance our careers and make it into a profession. Some of us don't. But for me, I wasn't certified when I first started as a peer. I actually am in tech. I graduated from tech school and I was supposed to be fixing computers and removing viruses and things like that. And I wanted to work in a nonprofit organization where my work meant something. I didn't just want to work for like a corporate job. So when I was looking for employment, I happened to come upon this peer support role. And one of the requirements was having had been a homeless mother. And when I read that, I'm the type of person that I go with the guide, with the intuition. And my intuition immediately said, "This is your calling. You have to take it. You can do tech later if you want, or you can even incorporate it into your role." So I took the job, and it's been the best feeling. And I did not have to be certified. They actually helped me to become certified. they, they didn't even have to pay. I found a free training and I'm now certified. But basically, just needed my lived experience. That's it. Yeah. So sorry, I went on a little bit of a background tangent there. But yeah, anyone else have any questions, comments? What's it like for you being a peer? Who's here is a peer, by the way? Do we have any peers? Okay. Okay. So yeah, what's it like being a peer for you? How how could you see yourself using TPC in your role, if you care to answer that? Anyone? Okay. All right. Oh, okay, go ahead. Come on up. You want to come up again? Or you could just stay there. Oh, no, thank you for seeing that, and thank you for wanting to take it back and share. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Like I said, I could have been a tech, I could have been in a different career making probably 3 times as much as what I make now. And, you know, this is what it's about. I just want people to feel like they're being taken care of emotionally as well, because that is a huge component of healing. And we have another question in the chat. That's a great question, Alicia. So one way to gain trust is to listen. You can use relational safety, for example, where your peer will come and, let's say, for example, I don't know exactly what type of demographic you work with, but your peer comes and she's upset because you guys had a meeting yesterday and you had to cancel because you had to leave early, you weren't feeling well, and she didn't know when she came downstairs you weren't there, and she was just so frustrated because everybody's always failing her and no one ever keeps their word. So she stormed into your room that day and she said, why weren't you here yesterday? You see, I can't trust anyone. This is not right. No one cares. And you just, instead of trying to explain yourself, you sat there and you listened to her and you opened up your body and you heard her and you affirmed her frustration and you let her know that she's right and that you're so sorry that you were not on time and that you want to figure out a way to move forward and how this will never happen again. That's an example of how you can build trust into the relationship and how you can reach and start opening up that bond to get them to, out of that mini crisis mode. I hope that answered your question, Alicia. Anyone else? Sure. Oh my God, my hairs are standing. That was so beautiful. I'm sorry, continue to you. Oh my God. Like I'm a crybaby. I'm about to start crying right now. That's so beautiful. Oh my God. Wow. You know, you just brought something new to my mind. It's true. Not only do we empower them, I don't know if you guys in the virtual world can hear, but our participants, our peers also empower us on a daily basis. And that is nothing further than the truth. And thank you for seeing that. Thank you for, sharing that. I'm going to take that little nugget with me. And to always remember that, because even though it's in the heart, you don't really think about it. And it's so true. And that's part of the reason why we do the work that we do, right? Because we're empowered by our participants and their stories and what they're going through, and to see them reach little milestones, whether it was taking a shower that day or whatever goal they had, to see whatever goal they reached is so liberating and empowering for us, right? That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, yes. So, yeah, I mean, in closing, I want to end with gratitude and share my energy with you guys. I hope that I was able to be a positive, energetic being in your hour or so. And I invite you guys to share one word that you're taking with you from here. Anybody share?
How like that one person transformed your experience or whatever you're going through that.
Absolutely. And just that one conversation can actually change your life. It happens, you know? It's beautiful. That's the beauty of life. Anyone else? One word? Absolutely. Vulnerability is strength, it's power, and that's how we can share our true experience in this world. And if I really feel if more people were vulnerable, the world would be a better place. So thank you for being vulnerable here today with me and with everyone. And I hope that you gained connections. It's been a lovely feeling, and thank you so much for having me and sharing your day with me. I really humbly appreciate it. You're loved. You're wanted. You're perfect just the way you are. You don't have to change for anyone ever. Thank you. And we're ending a little early. 10 minutes to yourselves. Unless anyone in the virtual.
Anyone in the virtual, in the Hoover app, we are ending a little early. We appreciate you all for coming, and we will be on break until 11:30. So we will see you in the next session. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You did it. Give me back.